All right.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So we're on record, but don't worry. This doesn't need to be like a super formal thing. So just like speak your heart out. Speak your soul. Josh, I'm sure you're incredibly well versed in this. Um,
I
but
attempt to be.
the main thing I want to just ask questions about. Actually, let me give, I guess, a bit of an introduction to the class. It's basically called the problem of God, and the teacher just looks at like religion based things and discusses like different paradoxes or different things that different people have discussed or debated over time and look through the history of it. But I want to be like very clear that it's not, the topic isn't like let's try and disprove God or whatever. Like it's not about that at all. It's not like a the atheists have won. Let's go. No, if anything, it's more so just to like encourage discussion about it. Um. So yeah, I'm sure you've heard of it, but it's called the. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes. The Epicurean paradox, which is that whole thing of like if God is good and all knowing, then he can't be all powerful. So yeah, I guess what's, as somebody who has studied religion and whatnot, what's your de facto answer to that if you have one?
Ooh, that's a deep one right off the bat. I don't know if I was entirely ready for that.
It's the only question.
Um,
This is the
to
only
that, I would
question.
say to this question, I think I would say that you're reversing the equation, right? Because you said that
Hmm.
if God is what did you say, all knowing, then he can't be all powerful.
Yeah, or if God is all good, then he can't also be all powerful.
I would say that you have to reverse the statement because
And feel free to take your time too, because like there's definitely answers to this that can be given.
It's Taylor's microphone so loud.
Taylor.
I think the first problem for me comes from what we're defining as good,
Oh yeah,
right?
we can do
Because
that too. I've
from a Christian, I think that's really important to start out with, because from a
yes.
Christian perspective, what I would explain is that there is a horizontal definition of good. So what we believe is like on earth
Mm-hmm.
equals good, but there's also the vertical view or the heavenly perspective or what God sees as good. So what we perceive as good and what God knows as good are two vastly different
Okay, Josh,
things.
can
And so we're
I
never going to
introduce
understand
some?
what God sees as.
Okay, Eric, real
Please,
quick,
by all
I just
means.
need to say I hate that you use caps lock to capitalize one letter instead of using shift. You hit caps
It
lock,
makes me mess
put
up
G in
so
God, and then
much.
hit caps lock again.
Yeah. Josh,
Yeah, please do capitalize God.
I think what the English majors here would say, there's an objective good, and that's like the God, the omnipotent, like all being, all knowing. That's sort of like the
Mhm.
perfect good. And then there's the subjective good, which is like what we can know. And I think that's
Yes,
totally
that's
true,
exactly what
right?
it is.
Because as humans, how can we how could we know with any, like we could be like pretty certain that something is good, but we can't know for sure.
But that's from a Christian perspective. That's why we have the Bible. The Bible is what gives us that objective good.
Is it the Bible itself or is it the word of God?
The Bible is the Word of God.
True.
So, like that's like one of the foundational beliefs of the Christian faith is that 66 books of the Bible or the canon is the very lived out, breathed Word of God.
Okay, so from your perspective, then the Bible is a part of that objective good because it is the Word of God, and we can
It
trust
is
God as good.
it is the definition um it is the definition of good, and it is what teaches us how, not only teaches what is good but also how to be good, basically. I don't love saying it in that way, but that's the
Well,
simple
I mean,
way of putting it.
it's a book that just contains knowledge on objective goods.
That is not the purpose of the Bible, but that is one of the facets of what the Bible does.
Would you be okay if I put down like a function of the Bible?
It is definitely a function of the Bible. Yeah. It
Yeah.
is definitely not the primary purpose, though. I think that's an important distinction.
Yeah, I guess before jumping straight into the question, I did want to do that thing of like, yeah, like establishing just some ground rules. So the first thing I wanted to say, and I think we're all okay with this, but just saying that reality is real, right? Because it's like the trivial
We do not
solution to
live
all of
in a
philosophy is just
simulation.
being like, none of this is real. We can't be certain of anything. Like, what if it's all just a simulation and nothing matters? Like,
We're all gonna become lobsters in the end.
yeah, yeah, like the answer's 42. Like we're not going with that. We're just gonna assume that like you exist, I exist, we're both sentient creatures and whatnot. So I guess we're all good with that.
Eric.
Huh?
You have to be very specific with the wording.
I mean, like I have the wording written down, but it's faster and more interesting
I'm
for
sorry,
me
Eric.
to talk
Looking
than
at the
drone
Chinese
out.
farmer parable, the one word I focused in on was horse,
Yeah, it is about a horse.
and I was like, "This is Eric's favorite parable."
I I don't like that the horse leaves. I love that the horse comes back with so many more. But yeah, the second ground rule, it's okay to not understand something, and it's okay to claim that God can understand everything and perform miracles. I think that's pretty fair and like standard to what the Bible says. And the when we say like God is all powerful, we're saying he can do anything. We're not saying he's powerful like an MMA fighter and can beat anyone. He can. But the implication of all
Eric,
powerful
I
in this
don't want to
context is he can do anything.
I don't want to nitpick your notes, but you should be capitalizing "he" as well.
When referring to God.
Yes.
I did not know that.
Unless you're going with ESV rules, but I think that the ESV is dumb because they don't capitalize God's. Yeah, he, him, his.
Because it's
Most people would ask that you capitalize the pronouns referring to God
That makes
Yeah.
as
sense
much as
because
you
God is
capitalize
capital
the G
G.
referring to God. And
because
not only that, but like
it's like he's not
one of those
because
things that provide a unique. It's distinction, right? Like if
Yeah.
we're saying that God is all powerful and he's above all things and he's above all people, then one of those ways that we can, in the English language, the written part of it, one of the ways that we can distinguish him is by capitalizing those pronouns for him, unlike doing it for you and me.
And
well,
honestly,
because
that's
the idea,
cool.
right, is that like God
yeah.
is a genderless being that uses because he can't be defined by human gender, so it's like he's uses capitalized he, him, his
Yeah, as
pronouns
I was
as a
writing this, I was thinking
way to do that.
like I'm saying him or he, but it's like he's not like a human.
Jesus Christ was a human,
Yeah.
and he can be
Jesus,
defined by gender because he is a male.
yes.
Yeah.
But the Spirit of God is referred to in genderless ways in the Bible.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know that about the caps for the pronouns, so that is good info.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think like it's saying that when we say God is all powerful, it means he can do anything. Is that like a fair good way of capturing that? And then the next thing is this is the thing when we were talking about like morally good. I think it's fair to say that morally good can be objectively defined. In this case, it's God who can objectively define morally good. But to us humans, we can't know what that objective good is. We can only have subjective opinions on what is morally good. So I think it's fair to say that like yeah, if God has infinite wisdom and whatnot, that he can totally know what morally good is with like certainty and in an objective manner. Sorry, excuse me. But and I think this is
assaulting
Yeah,
his
get those
nose
boogers,
with
Eric.
a tissue.
Get those boogers.
I should have muted. Sorry. But I think
I
this
mean,
is
I
what
didn't hear it. I just saw
For
it.
my AirPods, I didn't hear anything.
people love to be like, you can't know what good is. Like, good for you could be good for someone else, and I think that's a load of baloney.
Postmodernism.
Yeah,
Kids who have never known peace have different values than kids who have never known war.
like, you really think if I torture a child, like, oh, that could be good in some cultures? Like, no, get out of here.
Like it
Depends if you
technically
instill
could
it in
be,
someone,
but
though.
I mean,
I
think
it's
if your
still
culture
against the
is
rules.
geared to think that that's good, then your culture is wrong, not your definition of morality. Like, and I want to
Culture be
point
all
that
you
out
know.
because this is not meant to be a discussion on what is good and what is bad. This is like, we all know what good is. Let's not, be like, actually, it's highly subjective. Like,
I think we all have very similar opinions on what good is.
yeah, and like they're definitely a little bit different. Like, there's definitely going to be some differences, but we have a general concept of what morally good is. We have a general concept of what good is, what all good is. So let's not worry about being like, oh, but is it actually? What if it's actually good to, I don't know, torture someone? And that's why I wanted. That's why I have
Eat your
the
fifth
Chinese
child.
farmer parable. Josh, are you familiar with that one?
I'm not.
Okay, so it's like this thing where this like dude
Well,
in
it
China
involves a
is
horse.
like it's about a horse. His horse runs away and people are like, oh my gosh, that's such a terrible thing. And then the farmer's like, maybe it's terrible, maybe it's not. And then the horse comes back with more horses. And then everybody's like, oh, that's such a good thing. And then the farmer's like, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. And then like all the horses, like the other horses that the horse comes back and brings back, they all like get used for war or whatever. And then it's like, oh my gosh, that's such a bad thing. And then the farmer's like, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. The idea is that like,
What an indecisive ass farmer.
yeah, he doesn't know. The idea is that like, if you do a good or bad thing, that good or bad thing could have consequences that are maybe the opposite, right? Like, let's say
Yeah.
I cure a child from illness, but then the child turns out to be a murderer and murder someone. So then some people would be like,
Let's
oh,
say hypothetically you were a soldier in World War I and you saved a guy from getting. You didn't shoot that one German soldier, and then he turned out to be Hitler.
yeah. And then it's like, oh,
Just
so
hypothetically.
actually killing him was like a bad thing or a good thing because of the butterfly effect consequences that it had. And I'm going to say that it's fair to like ignore that. Like, you don't have to tie what something happens to its like historical impact.
Foresight cannot be factored into something being objectively good or bad.
I'm going to say it can be, because a lot of people will defend what God is doing as being like a part of a greater plan that we can't understand, but it doesn't have to be.
Yeah,
you know?
but I would call that foreknowledge, not foresight.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I'm basically saying that like it can still be
Yeah,
individual
it's very
events
similar.
can still be
Very
good or bad, and they can still tie to a greater history that it's overall good or overall bad. And here, I don't think we'll have any arguments on this. I'm saying morally good. For me, my view of it is it's a mental stance that you consistently take with the intended goal of improving health to other creatures. And for me, morally good is like interchangeable with, or morally good is a part of being all good. So when I'm talking, I'm like kind of being interchangeable with like God is morally good. He's also all good. All good encompasses more things, but like the thing that I care about the most is morally good. And then yeah, this last thing is like, nothing here is intended to like disprove or criticize any form of belief. There are definitely things that you can agree or disagree with, but like the goal here is to ask questions and just encourage thinking. And maybe like some beliefs can imply these things that like some people might not realize. But yeah, no winners, no losers, just master debaters. And the seventh rule is something that I probably forgot. But yeah, okay, that's just ground rules. I hope they're all okay. Any objections or things
Yeah,
you'd like
makes
to
sense
add?
to me.
Okay,
Continue
but
on,
yeah.
Your Honor.
No, that's pretty much it. So yeah, what do you have to say against the if God is all good and all knowing, then he can't also be all powerful?
Well, I would say it just doesn't make any sense.
Oh, an
To
attack on the
me,
question
like,
itself.
yeah, like God is all knowing because of his power. He's all good because of his knowledge. Right? These are things that lead into one another. And like you can't have the God of the Bible if you don't have all of these aspects, or we would call them his attributes.
Mhm.
Like
I
you can't have.
I do actually agree with this in that I don't see why him being all powerful would prevent him from being all good.
It's his power that brings out that allows him to be as good as he is.
So
Because yeah, if you have unlimited power, you can do what you want with it, and if you choose to be all good, then you can do that.
I think the counter to that, Nick, is that if God made the world, right? There's a lot of evil in this world.
We need to talk about the fall.
Yeah. So I think, Josh, this is what you're going to be ready to talk about. But I do want to touch on that. So we can all agree that a good biblical interpretation is that God is all knowing, he is all powerful, and he is all good. Like he does have those three attributes. Okay. Sorry, I'm gonna write that down. Good Bible and
I'm so excited. I love talking
yes, yeah.
about
No,
the
Josh, this is
fall.
why
This is
I
so
knew you would
interesting.
be perfect for this. So then
Yeah,
you're
please.
saying that
I guess to theologize.
sorry,
Theologize.
what again was the issue with like what does it make sense then about the question? Or the
If God
contradiction,
is
if you
all
will?
powerful, that makes him all knowing, and if God is all powerful and all knowing, that makes him it like gives him the ability to be all good,
I
right? So
think
you cannot have
I think
you
this
can't
saying
not have his all goodness without his all powerfulness.
but I think this is saying that that doesn't work because there is evil and suffering in the world that he created.
Here we go.
Yeah.
God did not create this world to be evil and full of suffering. That is where Satan or Lucifer comes in, right? He is the one who introduced that first sin to Adam and Eve. And then the question becomes, well, God could have stopped Lucifer from doing this. Well, yes, but then the counter to that is God created us and all creatures to be free, to have our own choices,
The free will
Lucifer
argument.
included. Right. So it's free will is an interesting one, and my pastor kind of disagrees with the wording of free will, but we can use that because it makes the
Yes.
most sense to me right now. And so
Actually, do you want to define
what
free
we
will
would say,
super quick?
that's a much longer conversation that we probably don't have time
that is
for.
an entire
But
philosophy class on its own.
Are we not okay with
we'll
just saying
just
free will is
use
the ability to make
use
choices?
yes, God does not control your choices. You control your own actions. So so then people will be like, well, why would God allow Satan to bring that first sin into the world?
Mhm.
And I would say he did not allow it, he ordained it. Ordaining is he is not causing the sin or evil actions to be done, but he has planned for it. Like everything that has happened and will happen is a part of God's perfect plan without him controlling or navigating navigating, yes. He plans and ordains for things to happen because he knows it's going to happen. So that's where the idea of foreknowledge comes in.
Yeah, I see
But
what you're
I want
doing
to be
here
clear
too with
about
your wording. Because if you're not careful with how you word that, it makes it seem like you don't have free will. Because if God knows what you're gonna do, then you're not really making a choice. But you're not saying that. You're saying that he has basically like planned for your every action, like planned for your every choice.
Yes, so there's this story of a gentleman named Joseph in Genesis, and at the end of his story, like his brothers had sold him into slavery into Egypt, and a bunch of bad things had happened, but
Yeah.
God used that action to actually eventually save the people of Israel. And so Joseph explains, what you, my brothers, meant for evil, God has meant for good. And in the same way, Satan did that evil thing of like putting that first sin into the world. God has a good plan for it. And it's all centered around the cross, around Jesus Christ sacrificing himself for our sins. Like that is the crux of God's good plan, even through Satan's evil deeds. And it'll eventually all come to culmination when Christ comes the second time, as the end times and what's been prophesied in Revelation happens.
Okay, so this is like both a combination of the sin exists so we can have free will. Is that like, I'm trying to like understand your point so I don't misrepresent it.
It exists as a part of free will, but it doesn't have to
It
exist
exists as a
for us to have
result
free will.
of free will. It exists as a result of free will.
Okay, so
if you read this,
it's like a byproduct, I think,
yeah, if
is
you
how
read the
like
origin
Taylor
story,
said it.
yeah, I think that's exactly how it would be. Like Satan and Adam and Eve, the three participants of the fall, all made their choices that God did not control. All of them were able to make those choices on their own. So I would not say it is for the purpose of free will, but it is a byproduct of free will.
Yes, because that's nice wording too. Because a lot of people would say, like, you're justifying people suffering so you can have free will, and it's less so like it exists for that reason, rather it exists as a byproduct or as a result of having that. So okay, so do you think that okay, yeah, I guess I'll raise the first question then. Am I good with this line? So it exists as a result of free will, a byproduct. Adam and Eve, like it makes sense, right? Like if God makes you do everything
Yep.
good, if God makes the whole world good, he takes away your choice. You're not choosing to be good.
Yep.
He's making you good. And that takes away our free will. So it's basically a paradox. Like the so are we
I'm trying not. I'm not laughing at religion, I swear, but I'm just Taylor just going to town out there while we're.
He
I
is
really
talking
didn't want to
you,
say anything, but that
he was
Yeah.
digging into that spam.
Taylor is maniacal.
I was
He's
watching
a
myself
beast,
eat
bro.
on Eric's stream, and I was like, "Damn, I kind of dipped my head a bit too far."
Yeah, he was really going into it.
I was like, because I was looking at Josh, and then I saw, because it was delayed, I saw my head going like this, and I was like, "Oh fuck, I'm eating that food."
So
He's really in it.
okay, you're saying that Satan created the world, right?
No. God created the
Okay,
world.
God created
Satan
the world.
was
Sorry, that sounds.
the
Did he
really
create
silly.
like the logic?
Satan
I'm not
kind of
saying that
helped
we
shape the world.
I'm not saying that like we know
But he
all the. What was that, Nick?
He helped shape the world, but he didn't create it.
I would not say that either, because I think shaped means he had control of how the world came about. I would say I would put Satan's role as he was I would call him the enzyme of sin. like he was the one
Or
who
the
kicked
catalyst.
off the first action. Yeah, he was the catalyst of sin.
Eric, don't look up what does enzyme mean. Just use the word catalyst. You know what that word means.
Sorry, Josh, you're
Yeah.
going on a great
Satan was the
path here,
catalyst
but
of sin.
I wanna get this like super ironed out, right? Because my biggest fear is that I misrepresent your statements. So when I make a question about it, it's like I'm misrepresenting your words. Did he? Are we good at saying he created the world? And I'm not saying that we could understand what the creation of the world is like, but he's the guy who made this stuff.
Genesis 1:1 says that God created the heavens and the earth. So yeah, God created the world.
There was nothing at first, and then
Did he
there was.
also make like the logic of the world too? Like the reason 1 + 1
That's
is
not
2 is that
clearly
like
defined in the Bible, so I would say no.
oh, so he doesn't create the logic of the world.
No.
Or
That's not
maybe creates
said
the
in the
wrong word, but like does
So
he
that's
define
not-
it?
No. I think he in the free will that he's given us, he has allowed us, and he's helped us along the way with prophets and things like that. But in our free will, he has allowed us to find those things on our own. And I
So-
think that there
Yeah.
are things that he divinely influenced to make it happen, but he didn't, like, when he created the world, he wasn't like, yeah, 1 + 1 is 2. God didn't do that. He allowed us to discover those things as we grew as humans,
So what would you?
or he ordained for us.
So I'm using logic very like I'm not. This is probably there's a better word for this, but yeah, I'm talking about stuff like gravity. Like, did he make it so that objects with a lot of mass have gravity? Like, did he create like the physical
Yes.
properties?
Think about how yeah, like think about how finally our universe has been created. Like,
Oh yeah,
if the
100%.
Earth
Just
was
think of Earth
a
itself.
few
is
percent
a
closer
miracle.
to the sun, burn, death,
Yeah.
destruction. Like, there's no logic to randomness. That's a different conversation. But yeah, God created like the laws of physics that we then discovered. If you're talking about like philosophical logic, he ordained for us to discover that along the way.
But
If
did
you're talking
he
about scientific logic,
Yeah.
God absolutely created those things.
So he made the stuff that like we could use to discover that 1 + 1 = 2, but he didn't define that 1 + 1 = 2.
So like when he's creating the
Absolutely.
world, he's not like, I'll make it so that 1 + 1 is 2. That was like a byproduct of his creation.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just say,
He
can we
created
go
a
with like
wonderful
non-physical
world
laws?
for us. Yeah.
Again, using it a very, very freely here. So
Yeah.
Honestly, Eric,
Yeah.
as long as you understand what your notes say, it'll be fine.
okay, so here's my question.
That's the most
God,
important part.
could he change those if he wanted to? So he could theoretically
Absolutely.
do like a miracle, like a paradox thing. Could he make it so that something like 1 + 1 = 3? Or no, because that defies the logic of the world he created?
Maybe.
Oh, we don't know.
could
I
flip
can't give
gravity
you a
if you
solid
wanted
definition
to.
on that.
Like,
That's not something that the Bible talks about.
Maybe
But,
not exactly like that, but like, would all power?
No, but I
include
understand what you're
being
saying.
Would all power encompass the ability to break paradoxes? Like,
he has
I
the
don't know.
ability
That's a
to. It's
question that
whether
I
he
can-
would choose to, because all power means he would have the ability to. He would have to.
That's true. I agree with Nick on that.
Mhm.
I definitely think that my hesitation comes down to whether I understand the willingness or intent
hey
to
Josh,
do that.
I'm gonna say
Um,
something that might sound a
But
little
I believe he
strange.
has the power to do it.
But yeah, I'm curious to hear like your thoughts. Even if you're wrong, because your thoughts matter because you're living your life, right? And the whole point of philosophy is to think. So it's totally okay to be like, dang, I don't know, but also like what you brought up, that's like a super good sort of counter, right? Because all power should encompass the ability to do things, to do anything, and that could also mean doing
Yeah.
things that we don't understand. So if we
Correct.
wanted to find all
I don't think it's really a counter.
as all powerful, then we should allow him to do something like make a circle without, or make a square with round edges, or do something that's like paradoxical, I guess.
He could do that. It's just a matter of whether or not he would choose to.
Yeah, I'm not saying he would want to, or he should, or he shouldn't, but like he can't, whether or not he can.
He can
I believe
do
he can.
anything because he is all powerful.
Okay, I'll put
So-
can paradox break in italics, just because there's a bit of uncertainty there. I don't know
Edit,
how to
Eric,
do italics,
edit.
so we're just
Edit. Up in
Control
the top
I.
left, edit. And then, it's not there.
Oh.
Weird.
Control,
yeah, well,
just
Josh said
highlight
Control
it and
I.
then Control I.
Oh, you can hit
Highlight
tab.
it and then
You can do
Control
that
I.
format and do it, but yeah, also you could just Control I.
Whoa, that was weird.
It went sideways,
D?
but only
I
a
use
little.
Google Docs a lot.
Okay, that's very.
You
helpful.
write
Thank
all
you,
of your
guys.
D&D in it.
I do that too. So
I do.
yeah, God, a part of being all powerful is the ability to break paradoxes. Because there are
You
a
don't
lot
have
of
to be.
people who think that he can't do that.
But that would make him not all powerful.
I agree.
Which,
I
I
believe he
think if
can.
we're
I
gonna
just
say
believe
he's all
he's
powerful, then
chosen
paradox
not to at
breaking
this
is
point.
game. I don't think he does.
Yeah.
Like I don't, but I'm not concerned whether he does or doesn't, whether he wants to or doesn't want to. Like I'm just like, is this like I'm like power scaling God basically.
The
But I'm
ability
saying, like,
definitely
there's nothing he
exists.
can't do, right? If we're calling him the all powerful, the all
Josh, I am realizing now I should specify I haven't read the Bible, so I am kind of going based off of not.
If you say anything theoretical, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Actually, Nick, that makes
I
you
do.
very good.
I
for-
genuinely.
But you're actually fairly on point so far,
Yeah.
Nick.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. I've been wanting to read the Bible for a while because I think that even for
You
even
made Josh's
if I'm like,
life,
I'm not
bro.
even if I'm not planning to go to church or be like a full on Christian, it is just one of the most important books to read. Period for anybody. So
Yeah, if you want my take on it, God is
You wanna
real,
read the
but he's
Bible
a
with
real
me?
guy.
I would absolutely.
Can we read the Bible together?
We could do that. I'd be fine with that.
Can we read the children's Bible? Because I've read that one like 5 times.
No.
No.
I came
I have
back and you
problem with
guys are
children's
already
Bible.
on reading the Bible.
It has pictures, Josh.
Is this like you losing your virginity?
How would it have pictures, Eric? You can't know what God looks like. He's beyond your
No, it was
comprehension.
pictures of Jesus, not God.
Okay.
Yeah, but wasn't Jesus depicted as the white guy?
Yeah, but that's wrong.
Yeah, Jesus definitely wasn't white.
Then
He was
you-
Israeli.
You saying
Josh,
that,
my
saying that,
respect
Josh,
for you
puts
has
faith-
jumped
That's what
up
we're saying.
tremendously.
Yeah.
If you
People
tell
don't
me that
realize
Jesus
that
was white, then you were
Christianity
the
was
most
originally an
colonist
African
person, and you
religion.
should be ashamed of yourself.
You,
Yeah, white American colonist POV.
Josh, my opinion of you has jumped up tremendously.
Mine hasn't because
I'm
it's already
glad.
at the max.
We're getting off
Appreciate
topic.
that, you guys.
We're getting off
we can
topic,
get
Eric,
off
because
topic.
recording
It's
this
all
for
fine. I
a
think
school
the more we
situation.
talk,
We
the
should
better.
focus a little bit. But Josh,
Okay.
we'll talk more about that later.
So I have
We're
made
starting with
physical
Luke.
properties.
Starting with the Gospel of Luke.
Okay.
He made he made the world, created the world. He made its physical properties. He made scientific logic. He made stuff we
everything.
can use to discover that
Yeah.
scientific logic. Well, are we saying everything, or are we saying that stuff like 1 + 1 = 2 is like a
Well,
byproduct?
okay.
of his
So
creation?
let's think about it like this.
was he
Eric.
deliberate with that?
let's think about it like this.
I
This is
believe that
kind
he
of
was.
using this is kind of using
Well, because
stuff
he's
that's
all
not really
knowing.
like a
That's literally what we've stated. That has been stated.
This
That
is-
he is all knowing. He knows that it would make this thing. He just didn't give it
so
to
I
us
am
straight
using
up.
I am using stuff that's not really religiously based, but it
Yep.
kind of works in the same way of when NASA was trying to send a message to whatever life forms might be out there.
Yeah.
They sent out a thing with a very specific thing on it. It was like the number of rotations of a certain electron around an atom or something.
Yeah.
And that they thought the basis of it was if an alien found that, they could decode that and understand some sort of comprehension of a number system,
Yeah.
even if they had nothing like us. So
Even
God
earlier than
made the molecule that electron spins around that could do that. He didn't make us go, it does it 5 times. He made it so it does that, and we could send that out to something else, and they might be able to understand it.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think this is like a good.
You want to talk about a biblical worldview of extraterrestrials? I have ideas, but that's another conversation.
I'm raising
That's
my
another
hand
conversation.
here.
We'll
I'm
get
raising
there.
my hand here. I'm raising my hand
Taylor,
here.
what do you
I'd
have
just
to
like
say?
Yeah,
point
go
out,
for it.
if you guys said that God is all knowing, and that is a fact, God is all knowing, he probably gave us the elements to make something, but didn't himself give it to us so that we could figure it out. Like he gives us the seed so we plant the tree, not literally saying he did that, but that is a metaphor for something he could have done. Just saying.
He did
you
do
write
that one,
twerk?
actually, though.
Did you just write twerk, Eric?
He misspelled tree.
Yeah,
That's
you missed
twerk.
poetry for twerk. Eric, you have to go all the way to the left. Press W. Go TWERK.
Like, you
Go
would have to
backspace.
tremendously mess
Go
that up.
TREE.
All right, guys.
Eric, how often? What is your brain doing to autocorrect? Like your brain autocorrected tree to twerk.
He made everything.
Can I say he didn't make Satan though, right? Or did he?
No, he did make Satan.
did.
He did.
He did
So
make
is, he
Satan.
made
would have had
everything in
to.
all caps. Are we good with that? We understand what that means,
Yeah,
and it makes
because
sense.
that's
'cause
the
Yeah.
correct
he's like
statement
he's
here.
kind of the
Josh,
guy.
can I say with some understanding that I kind of understand?
That's great, Taylor.
I don't understand those words in that order.
Exactly.
I think he understands, is what he's saying.
Yeah,
but
if you want to read
kind of.
like a very brief description of the fall of Lucifer, it's in, I believe, Isaiah chapter 14.
Oh yeah, you were
Like,
talking
there was a lot
something
of
about
stuff
like
that
the fall of man, or like
Yeah,
Well, that was the
the
first
fall
sin,
of
right?
Lucifer and a third.
Kind of.
I don't know, kind of. That was the first sin of heaven, but like the reason that the fall of Adam and Eve was so significant is because it cursed all of mankind after them. Like
Yeah.
with Satan, it was a one-time deal. It was him and a third of all of the angels that went.
and don't come back.
Like no other angels can either redeem
He's like
themselves
got
or
his fist
fall.
up like.
No, that's actually how it was. Like
Yeah.
God gave him, he only had one chance. Lucifer got to talk with God. He was one of the angels who directly interacted with God. He was in charge of the worship of God, I believe. That might not be entirely true. I
I
might
mean,
have
that
to check on
sounds
that
right,
one.
because he was important, and that's why it was so bad that
He was called the most
bad.
beautiful of all of the angels, and his pride is what caused himself to say, I want to be God. And a third of the angels were like, yeah, Lucifer should be God. And then they all
Lucifer was
fell,
pretty
and that's
bad,
who became the devils and demons.
This is why whenever we find a political candidate who compares themselves to a religious figure, we don't support them.
You know, we also need to stop putting words, like new words, new meanings, like saying a girl's bad, like, oh, she's looking so bad. Dude, that confuses me, dude.
Taylor, that is
Don't do that.
like 100%
Hey, yo, this girl's so
irrelevant
bad,
to the
dude. She's so
conversation.
fine. And you're like, wait, is she bad or is she fine?
0% of that was relevant to this.
I know, but I was thinking, like, if I was someone who acted my age and was like, I guess in like trending like lingo, words, whatever, it would be very confusing saying like Lucifer was bad, man. Lucifer was bad.
I mean, apparently he was the most beautiful, so you're not
That's why we
Dude,
have the
entirely
word
Lucifer was
incorrect.
sinful.
bad.
That's why we
In
have the
every
word
sense.
sinful.
Yeah.
But then they're gonna start repurposing that. That girl is straight up sinful looking.
That girl's
Dude,
making
actually,
the
that's
shoddy
one
at-
word better than
You see the
bad.
shoddy at the club, and they're like, "Man, she's sinful."
Actually, that does make sense because a girl looking so good that it makes you want to sin. Think about it. Think
He's
about
actually a
Yeah.
sinner.
She's full of vanity.
A lack of modesty is actually a sin.
Yeah, I believe it is because it's tempting people. It'd be like advocating people to
Mhm.
riot or
It's
kill or steal. Okay,
Mhm.
hey Josh, I don't know if you're watching the screen share to see what I have written.
back to the deep philosophy, guys.
Yeah.
I gotta ask this question that I have when you're not recording,
no.
please. And they...
Oh no.
So I said evil or suffering exists as a result of free will. Like it's a byproduct. It came after. Adam and Eve, they made choices. They made choices that God didn't control. It was their own free will. That cursed man. God created the world, did all the stuff. He made everything, and he, in his all power, has the ability to break paradoxes. And Satan is like the first catalyst of sin. Is that a good interpretation? Is there anything more you think I should add here before I start to question it?
I would agree with all of that, and I think that if you're going, yeah, I think that all works. That all
Okay.
works.
So why make
Eric,
a
I'm
world?
so sorry.
Yeah.
I don't want to get off topic again, but I just was looking at your bookmarks and I did not know you had the 4x4 video in your bookmarks.
I actually do have. I have an actual question. Josh, before I forget, Josh, can you hear me?
Barely.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Josh, is there a scale of what is considered sin? So, like, I'm gonna say like a really abrupt example, and Eric, I hope that you don't like. I hope you don't send this video to your professor or anything. However, like if a woman is dressing like
Promiscuously.
what's the word? For lack of the better word,
Promiscuously, he
like
said.
promiscuously, whatever. Would it be worse? This is like a legit question. I'm not. This is gonna make probably this might make you guys laugh, but would it be worse in the scale of sin, if there is one, to look at her or look like at a drawing of her in the same clothing? Because it's still the same act, but it's a drawing. It's not an actual thing. But is it just because of the fact that
So
you're
it goes
thinking
back to
about
the
it?
same
Is it on the
idea.
same scale?
Yeah, it absolutely has to do with the heart of the action, right?
The
So
intent.
in both actions, the heart and the intent is sexual sin. And so it has nothing. There is no scale to sin. Every single individual sin, no matter how, from an earthly perspective, big or small it is, um, it's still sin, and every individual sin is worthy of an eternity in hell.
This is in comparing it to what we have on, in the legal system when you're charged with murder versus manslaughter, the problem is intent.
But also, like, that more so in the sense of when you murder someone, you murder someone. But when you create, like, tax evasion, like, I feel like tax evasion versus taking someone else's life.
I mean,
according to
yeah,
my
they get
bias.
different punishments, but they're both
Yeah, but
you're both committing
they-
them intentionally.
Heavenly perspective of From the heavenly perspective of God, he's not concerned whether you're committing tax evasion or whether you're murdering somebody. Like, you are committing sin. sin is sin is sin is sin is sin, no matter what sin you're committing. Like it can get to the point where, from a heavenly perspective, saying a disrespectful word towards your parents can be equal to murdering someone. And both of those sins are equal in the idea of both of those sins will cause you to have an eternity in hell.
Nice. To know.
Hey, Taylor. Okay, anyways, Josh, my question for you, given what we have established, is why make a
There's just gonna
world
be big walls of
where-
sound in the recording there.
where evil and suffering is a byproduct of free will? If he's all powerful, why not just make a world where evil and suffering is not a byproduct of free will? And if that's paradoxical in this world, he has the power and ability to break paradoxes, so that shouldn't be an issue for him if he's all powerful.
Welcome to one of the biggest arguments against the God of the Bible. So one way that I have heard this explained is that this is going to be a kind of a weird explanation, but bear with me as I get through it. The church, or the people of Christ, have been described as the bride of Christ. Something that would make the bride of Christ all the more beautiful to him was if it was a redeemed bride. So it has been speculated that God has ordained for this world to be full of evil and suffering, so that the church that comes out of this would be a redeemed church, to be a redeemed bride for his son whom he loves, Christ. The whole goal is that although there's evil, and although we are evil and sinful, we might be redeemed and then presented to Christ as a redeemed bride. I don't know if that makes a whole lot of sense.
That actually,
But the whole-
Josh, I
That
get
does
it.
make a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah,
Like, that is a very good.
Okay, so I've
that's a
written down
very
that
good point.
speculated that God ordained the world. So sorry, Josh, just I'm getting tripped up by the whole bride and redemption. But what you're saying is that this sin exists so that we can
specifically so that the church,
church,
specifically the people of God,
so the people of God, people who the believers.
yes,
Okay,
Like
so the
followers?
believers of God could do what?
so that we can be redeemed for Christ.
Okay, what does redemption mean in this situation?
It means that Christ came down to earth in human form. It means that he lived a perfect, sinless life. It means he died on the cross, undeservingly died on the cross, and then took on all of our sin. He took our sin so that it might not be something we have to go to hell for. And now that we don't have to go to hell, we are redeemed and can go to heaven with him.
Can I maybe expand on it a little bit? I think,
Yeah.
or at least redefine it a little bit.
Yeah.
I think the
Yeah.
Bride of Christ thing is kind of where Eric is getting tripped up. I would say because we know that Jesus loves everyone, the idea is that Jesus loves you, but he will love you more if you are redeemed from sin.
Not exactly.
Not entirely.
Not entirely. I see where you're going. The idea is that the people of God are a gift to Christ in heaven. So those who choose to follow Christ, we get to join him in heaven and be a gift to him by giving him glory, by praising him for eternity. So the idea of being a bride is the idea of being a gift to him. This is huge.
Wait, what does that have
huge
to do with
theological stuff.
the people who got tortured and worse to them?
that's where things kind of get tough and into some incredibly deep theology, because
Does
this starts in oof, yeah, this is big stuff. So you're getting
talking about
into
a
the
wife
whole
and
class for it, right?
is it talking about a wife in like a theological kind of like traditional sense, or like
it's more about the gift. It's more about the gift. It's not like
but they're
specifically
gifting?
thinking of the church.
Could it be like any gift, or would it have to be rephrased in the sense of where it is similar to that of a wife?
Wait, actually, can I ask real? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I was done, bro. You're all good.
Nick, what did you mean by Josh's like what of Josh's explanation made sense to you?
Well, so the idea of like the people, the followers of Christ, are. Josh, would you say humans are inherently sinful? I feel like that's not the right way to phrase it, but
No, that is the exact
Yeah,
right
it
way to
definitely
phrase it.
is.
We are
Okay.
inherently sinful.
So humans are inherently sinful. The followers of Christ redeem themselves, or at least
Christ
attempt to
redeems us.
redeem themselves
Christ redeems us.
through Christ, or would
We
you
don't redeem
have to?
ourselves.
It would
okay,
have
we
to be
don't
that
redeem ourselves.
he does it.
We don't redeem ourselves. Christ has redeemed us.
And so through that, the gift to Christ from God in heaven is the redeemed followers.
Yep.
Okay, that's wonderful for the followers, but what about like the innocent? Again, what about the people who suffer?
They are not innocent.
Yeah, we are. That's what I
They
was
are
gonna say. I was
Okay,
gonna say
what-
we're not
what-
innocent.
Very,
It's the inherent sin. Because humans are inherently sinful, there is no innocent.
Okay, sorry, yeah, innocent was wrong, but like
if you do
again,
not
I don't think this answers the question of why would he make a world like that.
the purpose of making the whole point of the story is redemption. So you can't have people
So
who are
the
redeemed
evil
if they were
exists
not
to be
evil in the
redeemed.
first place. Yes.
Okay, so I think I can apply the same question though. Why make it so that to be redeemed you have to be born with sin?
Well, because
That's a
you
great
can't be
question.
redeemed from
Not one that
nothing.
I can answer.
But yeah,
Well, Nick, the problem
It's-
with that though is that if you can't be redeemed for nothing, that works logically, but God can break logic because He's all powerful.
that is true.
You've basically for this you've made the same free will argument, but replaced free will with redemption.
This is a question that I'm excited to ask God when I get to heaven.
That's fair. It's totally fair to be like beyond our understanding, right? Because I think no matter where you go, we're always going to
Absolutely.
hit this beyond our understanding, right? 'Cause, I mean, it's God.
Okay, I just saw that the next
Absolutely.
question makes reference to Pokemon and Super Mario, and I'm
Yeah,
I'm
this
actually-
does not
I'm
feel
glad-
appropriate to the.
I would if I was a
I'm
teacher,
really curious.
I would be glad that you came to a point of just saying I don't understand instead of just kind of making stuff up.
Oh, make
and,
no
like,
mistake,
BSing
Taylor.
your way
We're
through.
gonna come back to this puppy, but
No, but like I'm
Yeah,
glad.
yeah.
My whole point is I'm glad you just didn't BS it up and just say,
I'm
Yeah.
glad
"Oh,
you're
this
not
is that is
pretending
this."
to understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because people who pretend to understand,
that's dangerous.
Don't understand.
they're not the good ones.
They're lying to
They're
themselves.
the
Yeah.
they're the
I agree.
sinners.
Like if you don't understand how to drive a car, you should be driving a car.
What could I perhaps call
Eric,
them
you should
Jesus
not be
poses?
driving a car.
Be driving a car. That's fine.
Eric. The day I saw Eric almost crash that car.
I have
Actually, no, I
can
didn't even see
make
it. I heard it.
choices.
I heard
Why
it
do you
'cause-
type like this?
Where did I say that? Okay, but going. So wait, Josh, are we still saying that the evil and sin exists for free will, or are we shifting that to redemption? Or are we keeping both? But we don't understand why God would make it like that.
Yeah, so evil exists because of free will.
Yeah.
God ordained for evil to exist for the purpose of redemption.
Ooh, can you repeat that exactly? Because that was good, and I want to write it down.
Evil
Sorry.
exists because of free will.
Evil exists because of free will.
Evil and suffering exist for the purpose of redemption.
I like
How
that.
did you
I like
manage to
that.
misspell purpose?
Not porpoise.
He's doing it on
Porpoise is an
purpose.
animal.
There's no O in the word. Oh, there is. It's just later on, actually. No, you still got it wrong. Okay, there you go. Only took like 5 attempts. I can see why you're not an English major.
It's the most
can see why you went to
wonderful
math.
conversation that I've ever had.
Guys, I'm having such a good time. And I
You
love
should go to
talking
bed.
about this,
Tired.
but I am so tired.
That is A-okay.
Nick, I think you
Good
should go
full-
to bed.
It's
Oh.
2:40 in the
We
morning.
can also
Do
just
you close
pause
tomorrow,
this and
Nick?
continue later too. I think that's totally okay.
Nick, do you close tomorrow?
Especially because it would
No.
give you a chance to like.
I
talk to
might
other
need
people.
to continue this another time because my brain is also falling apart with all of the theology and philosophy that you've been throwing at me.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. Dwell
You're
on it.
asking
I
good
think
questions,
at this
Eric.
beyond our understanding point is a really good. Yeah, dude, these questions are absolutely peak. But I think
Yeah.
this beyond our understanding point is a really great place to pause.
All right, sounds good. Hey, thank you guys, by the way. Like, I do enjoy doing this. So
Yeah, it's honestly.
This is a lot of fun. This is
I
so much
like.
fun.
Here's the thing. I think that like, again, even barring anything of like religion, any of those aspects, just watching you talk about the Bible, it's just so fun because it's something you're so passionate about that it just
Yeah.
makes it like you have infectious energy where it makes it fun to talk about with you.
I love
I'm glad.
passionate people.
Well, I think
who
one of the-
are passionate about things.
I think one of the biggest failures of our modern world is the fear to talk about our own ideas. So I think
Yeah.
the more we can do this with each other and in our communities is so incredibly important.
No, I agree. 100%.
Well, I think there's like talking like this, like sitting down and talking. It's legit, like obviously how we communicate, but it's important to not only share this kind of information, but information in general, like life information. You know,
This is what school like used to be all about. It was just smart people who would go and talk to each other. Like it had
even
nothing
before
to do with
schools were
homework
like a regular thing. This is how freaking cavemen used to do it, dude.
Yeah. It's
Watch
like it's
out for the tiger.
the best way to learn.
Watch
and
out for that big
philosophize-
orange thing.
philosophize.
Caveman podcast be like today's episode is sponsored by blueberries.
yeah, like don't get those berries down by the beach, bro.
I want my berries by the beach. That's why I would be a better businessman, Eric. I would be having my berries from the valley.